I'm sharing 5 ways to be more elegant in 2024. Hello everyone, Jennifer L. Scott here, and welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. I love exploring the fine art of living here on my channel and through my books. And in the Madame Chic series books, I really explore how I go from a rather clueless teenager into a more elegant lady. It's that Sabrina transformation that so many women and men seek in their lives. And what is it about that? Why do we want to be elegant people? What is the allure there? Well, I truly believe that when you explore elegant living and you make that your way of life and your truth, that you live a very fulfilling life. Because elegance is equal to consciousness for me. We're going to really explore that in today's video. I have 5 ways that you can live more elegantly in 2024. So let's get started with the very first tip. The first way to live more elegantly in 2024 is to make dressing well your baseline. We start with dressing well because how we present ourselves is indicative of so much in our lives. Our state of mind, our confidence, our level of self-love and expression. Dressing well is not about showing off. It's not about flashing wealth or trying to impress other people. It is a baseline of self-respect that every person deserves. And when you begin to dress well on a daily basis, even when you're not leaving the house all day, even when you have nothing special planned or you don't plan on seeing anyone else, it truly becomes who you are. You're happy to express your true style just for yourself. And that becomes enough for you. Because a lot of people who seek elegance, they will dress well if they're going to an event or if they're seeing friends. But then at home, they dress in a sloppy manner. And I know this because I used to do this myself. And yes, I have my B-roll here that I know you all love, where I'm showing you the do's and the don'ts. But I'm doing it to illustrate a point that we can't expect to be elegant out in public with our friends or in important situations if it's not who we truly are. And when we are at home, that's who we truly are. So I like to encourage people to get rid of all their worn out, old, unsightly clothes and start to dress well at home. This doesn't mean that you have to be in a ball gown while you're making dinner. You could still be in lounge clothes if that's what you like to wear, but make them presentable and your true style. Remember I said that elegance equals consciousness, and dressing well truly represents thoughtfulness, that you thought about what you wanted to wear today, that you are consciously expressing yourself through your clothing. But when people have that I just rolled out of bed look and, like a really sloppy appearance, what that conveys is thoughtlessness, that you didn't really think about it, that you don't care. And elegant people do care. The next tip on how to be more elegant in 2024 is to make your meal times conscious. Elegant people dine well for every meal. Every eating experience that you have is an event. It is a conscious activity that you engage in. And that's why I love to encourage people when they're eating to sit down at a well-set table. This is going to look different for everybody. You might be more casual. You might like some pretty rattan placemats and your favorite plate with some cloth napkins, or you might like all the fine china and the crystal and all of that. It's all fine. But the point is that it's a conscious sitting down with a conscious expression of your style at the table and a conscious being in the present moment while you're eating your food. Because when you're not your most elegant, what are we doing? We're not conscious. We're walking around the house, snacking over the kitchen sink, eating foods that we're not even hungry. It's like just to feed our boredom, basically. Maybe we're just laying down on the sofa, binge watching something. We're gonna get to that later. While we're just, eating chips while they're crumbling down our shirt. This is not so elegant. Why? Because it's not conscious. So when we have conscious meal times, meal times are an event. And I really learned this while I was living in Paris, because every mealtime in Paris was an event. I mean, you were not snacking over the kitchen sink in Paris. It was a really special meal. Even weekday meals were like 3-course affairs. Now, I don't want you to feel intimidated by this, but I think it's just like with the dressing well. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes, the more uneasy you feel walking around the house eating chips, like while you're walking up the stairs, because it no longer becomes who you are. It's very empowering to identify our negative habits and to change them. You can change who you are. Just because you've done this your whole life doesn't mean you can't break that bad habit now. It's going to require a lot of consciousness, being in the present moment on your part, but it's a really fun journey, and I highly recommend going on it. There are, of course, many benefits to sitting down while you're eating your meals. You eat less. You're not just constantly snacking all day long. You can maintain a healthy weight. You tend to eat healthier foods because you're really thinking about the composition of your meal. It's not just, grabbing stuff out of a bag. And also you're able to control your portion sizes because you're able to see it and know what you're eating. And I've done a whole video on this, and I can revisit it again in the future if you like. But sitting down for your meals is very key for elegance. Tip number 3 on how to be more elegant in 2024 is to carry yourself well at home. So you can sense a theme here. How we live at home, behind closed doors, reveals so much about who we are. If we want to be elegant people, we must practice at home. So how we carry ourselves is very important. Now, many of us operate on a baseline level of stress, and I'm speaking from experience here. And when I'm stressed, I'm rushing around, I'm hunched over, I'm holding my breath. My movements are not graceful and elegant. They're choppy, they're fast. I'm trying to get as much done as possible. Well, I have gone on a personal journey to try to be more elegant in the way that I carry myself. And that means, of course, being conscious about my posture, not hunching over, not being in a rush, gliding really throughout the house, not running upstairs, but walking upstairs. For me, it's about practicing slow, deliberate movements. And sometimes I have to really slow down and exaggerate things in order to get myself back on track, because we don't know what we look like. Like, our family can see what we look like, but we don't know unless you're filming yourself. It's important to be conscious of that. I love working with my friend Dr. Chloe on breath work, and she's shared several of her breathwork exercises with us. I'll link her book, Nervous Energy, down below. But if you have that nervous energy where you are just kind of rushing and your whole body's in a ball of stress, I really recommend just relaxing, taking a deep breath, noticing your posture, going slow. I think a common problem for mothers especially is maybe you feel like your family's rushing you, like the kids are hungry and you need to do this and your husband's waiting for that and you have to clean this, so you're just constantly trying to please everybody. But I have really put my foot down, put my hand out like this, and I'm like, no, I am not rushing. I will not be rushed. I move slowly, I breathe deeply. If someone is screaming your name on the other end of the house, like let's say one of your kids is like, Mom, 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 you know what that is? And then I'm like getting all worked up. That is when you really dig in. You breathe deeply. You notice your posture. You don't run unless you think it's like a serious accident or something. But generally they just want a snack or something. So if that's the case, you simply watch how your body responds to this and you carry yourself elegantly. I want you to practice this at home, and it will become more natural when you are out in public or at work. The 4th tip on how to live more elegantly in 2024 is to declutter your space. So we're working on ourselves. We're working on how we present ourselves, how we eat, how we even walk around the house. And once you do that, you're gonna feel very different. like a different person, and you're going to notice your environment and whether or not you're surrounded by an unorganized hot mess, because it's hard to be elegant when you are surrounded by clutter and disorder. I love using this example. Let's say you're walking into a very fine hotel like the Ritz or Claridge's. You are surrounded by absolute beauty. It's beautifully decorated. Everything's in its place. There's no piles of clutter in the corner. You feel opulent and it's a wonderful feeling. We want that feeling in our own homes. So I just do recommend going through your clutter hotspots and fixing them. There is a massive difference, and you can feel more elegant when you're in this environment. Put in systems on how to keep the clutter at bay. We're going through this now. We're redecorating our entire home this year, and there's a few rooms that are housing all the clutter. Like I have an entire junk room downstairs. It's bad. I will eventually go through it, but in the meantime, that's all there while I'm trying to go through every other space in my home. And doing this is just making me feel so elegant. You can go as far as even decorating more. I'm documenting our jewel box home transformation this year on the channel, where I'm showing our home, and even just adding some new paint to the wall can make you feel more elegant. It really does work. And the final tip is to engage in elevated relaxation, also known as conscious relaxation. So remember I was talking about binge watching television. Okay, I am not against television at all. I do tend to read more than I watch TV. I actually don't watch TV at all right now. If there's a good show that I simply must watch, I will watch it. But that's conscious viewing. I go in with the purpose to watch something, and I watch it and then I turn it off. But I know that a lot of people are in the habit of channel surfing or binge watching shows that they really don't care that much about or no longer like. I used to watch The Real Housewives all the time. This is a long time ago. And finally I was like, why am I watching this? I mean, no offense to The Real Housewives, but they're just always fighting, and I was thinking, is this the best way for me to spend my time? No. So I engage now in elevated relaxation, conscious relaxation. So when I relax, and you know I like to schedule in my relax time in my planner, I will read a good book, something I am loving or something I've wanted to read for a while. And there's a difference between that and just laying on the couch in sloppy clothes, eating snacks, and binge watching a show. You know, there is really a difference. So everybody has what they love to wind down. Some people like to play the guitar, or maybe you like to do some gardening, play the piano, maybe you like to read books or write poetry or paint. Whatever it is, if it's conscious, then that is elegant. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you could be in a pottery studio covered in mud. That is elegant. That's a way to relax and unwind that is conscious. But it's when we tune out, it's the unconsciousness that makes it no longer elegant. Because at that point, we're not aware of what we're consuming with our eyes, with our mouths, because a lot of the times we're snacking through this. And that's when we pull ourselves out of the elegance. So like I said, this is not a one size fits all, not a Stepford wife thing where we all have to do the same thing. It's about you at the core, you expressing yourself through the things that you love, through your style, through your passions, and really being conscious about this. And that is true elegance. That is elegance in 2024. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and that it brought you a lot of inspiration to live more elegantly this year. Keep calm and remain classy, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.